That's not right. Jango Fett, father of Boba Fett, and a few other guys. The galaxy's most feared bounty hunter, a lethal warrior, and an ace pilot. No one in the galaxy can endure an onslaught from a man so... Oh! God, oh! Okay, man, that was over fast. Alright, man. Poor guy didn't even get to live through a whole movie. Oh well, it's no big loss. After all, he was just a fan service character, right?
Wrong.
Hi, I'm Jordan. Welcome to the show, wherein I tell you why Jango Fett is actually a pivotal character in the Star Wars saga. If you've seen my Boba Fett video, you're probably expecting a long-winded explanation about why Jango Fett is actually a badass. However, I don't need to make that argument, because he makes it for himself. Now, one could make the point that he's not that cool, he gets his head lopped off in the first movie he appears in, but come on, let's be honest. Getting beheaded in a lightsaber fight by Samuel L. Jackson is a pretty baller way to go out. So no, I'm not here to convince you that he's a badass. Rather, I'm here to tell you why he's actually a pivotal character, possibly one of the most pivotal characters in the Star Wars saga. To do that, first we're going to take a look at his role as a trusted agent in Palpatine's plot. When Jango appears in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, he's shown in the unique position of providing support to both the fledgling separatist movement and the Republic. To the former, he provides his skills as a bounty hunter in service to Count Dooku, and to the latter, he provides his genetic material and combat training to the benefit of the clone army. One could argue that Jango is simply being a mercenary and taking work from anyone who will hire him. But consider this. If Jango didn't have the trust of Count Dooku and, by extension, Darth Sidious, why would they let him use the deliberately hidden planet of Kamino as his home base? Every time Jango returned to Kamino from a job, there was a risk that he could be followed, thus leading to the accidental discovery of the clone army before they were ready to be revealed. This strongly suggests that Jango had the trust of both Dooku and Sidious, aka Palpatine. I doubt Jango knew Palpatine's true identity, or had much direct contact with him, but it's not much of a leap to say that he was a trusted agent in the overall plan. To prove the point, he was trusted to orchestrate the assassination of Senator Amidala to stop her from rallying support against the war and possibly finding a diplomatic solution to the growing divide in the Republic, thus ruining Palpatine's long-term plans. After being given this assignment, Jango wasted no time in outsourcing it? Well, that's just good time management. Remember, Jango is a father, and he probably wants to spend as much time with his son as he can, so he can trust Zam Wesell to outsource the job to a droid, who then outsources the job to centipedes? Okay, maybe I do need to do a video on why Jango is actually a badass, because this whole scheme is just a few marbles short of a Rube Goldberg machine of pure incompetence. Unless the plan wasn't actually to kill Senator Amidala. The unnecessarily complicated assassination plots we see Jango and associates employ seem doomed to fail, which is very likely the point. The first attempt on Amidala's life comes in the form of a booby-trapped landing platform that explodes, destroying her ship and killing her body double.
So sorry. I failed you, Senator.
Actually, you only had one job, and you did it quite well. You'll be getting a glowing performance review, which we'll forward to your next of kin. But hang on. Trying to blow Padme to smithereens seems like a pretty legitimate attempt on her life. Unless the assassins had prior information to suggest that she would be using a body double and therefore out of harm's way. Information that could have been easily acquired by, say, the former senator from Naboo turned Supreme Chancellor. That would give the assassins the freedom to stage a very convincing assassination attempt while avoiding actually killing the senator. Going from high explosives to bugs as the weapon of choice seems a bit silly, but highly venomous insects would actually be a clever way to perform an assassination. And these particular highly venomous insects don't hesitate to go straight for the senator and are shown to be clever enough to recognize and evade motion sensors. Those are some high-quality creepy crawlies. Fortunately, the Jedi assigned to guard the senator sense the threat in time and spring into action, foiling the attempt on her life and saving the day. Good thing the Jedi were there. Almost too good. Anakin and Obi-Wan weren't there by coincidence, and they weren't there by the request of the Jedi Council.
Perhaps someone you're familiar with. An old friend, like Master Kenobi.
They were there at the specific request of Chancellor Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious, aka Jango's client. And it should be noted that using Jedi as rent-a-cops is fairly odd. So odd, in fact, that the movie directly calls it out.
Why else do you think we were assigned to her if not to find the killer? Protection is a job for local security, not Jedi. It's overkill, Master. Investigation is implied in our mandate.
So why would Palpatine request two highly capable and hyper-aware Jedi as overkill on a protection assignment for someone that he's trying to kill? Because he's not actually trying to kill Senator Amidala, but he needs the Jedi to believe that the threat is real. The first attempt on the Senator's life was deliberately big, loud, and noticeable. This gave Palpatine a valid reason to request the Jedi look after the Senator from his home planet. The second attack, meanwhile, was an intentionally nefarious assassination attempt. An attempt that proved the Senator wasn't safe even in her secure residence, and would be guaranteed to fail with the intervention of the Jedi. So it's a good thing Anakin was there to be unsettling.
I'd much rather dream about Padme.
This set up the Jedi as the ones sidelighting the Senator by putting her into hiding, thereby curtailing her attempts to find a peaceful resolution to the escalating galactic climate that Palpatine had engineered. And with Padme out of the way, Representative Binks was positioned perfectly to be really easily manipulated.
But what senator would have the courage to propose such a radical amendment?
If only Senator Amidala were here.
Into doing this.
Misa propose that the Senate give immediately emergency powers to the Supreme Chancellor.
The Senator being moved aside had the added benefit of getting Anakin and Padme alone together so they could develop the relationship that Palpatine would later use as a pressure point to turn Anakin to the dark side. But I don't think Jango was privy to that part of the plan. That would have been a very awkward mission briefing. To further highlight that they weren't actually trying to kill the Senator, take a look at the droid they used to deliver the bugs. It's shown to be capable of bypassing security measures to deliver a payload, and I doubt it was capable of only carrying bugs. What else could it carry? Oh, I don't know. How about just have the droid drop a brick of C4 in the room and be done with it? My point is, if they actually wanted Padme dead, they had the means to make it happen. What about Zam Wesell, the bounty hunter that Jango subcontracted to perform the assassination attempts? Why was she involved, and why did she seem convinced they were actually trying to kill Padme Amidala? She's a fall guy. Fall gal? Yeah, sorry to all the Zam fans out there, but in this scenario, she's been set up as a stooge. I'd say I'll do a video on why she's actually a badass, but there's not much for me to work with. After all, she's a shapeshifter who flees into a packed cantina to hide, and then does absolutely nothing to disguise herself. Not exactly playing to your strengths, are you, Zam? But why set Zam up as a stooge? Because it plays into the second goal of the fake assassination attempts. Oh, by the way, the fake assassination attempts have two goals. The first goal was to get the very competent Amidala out of the way so she couldn't meddle in Palpatine's plans, simultaneously putting the very incompetent Binks in a position where he could do this.
Give immediately emergency powers to the Supreme Chancellor.
You have so much to answer for, Jar Jar. The second goal was to create a trail of clues so intriguing the Jedi wouldn't be able to ignore it. And the first clue in that trail is the would-be assassin Zam Wesell. I mentioned earlier that Jango was given the responsibility of overseeing this plan, and I believe part of the plan was selecting a bounty hunter skilled enough to be seen as a reasonable choice for assassinating a high-profile target like a galactic senator, but not skilled enough to evade the Jedi. For the plan to work, and for the mind-reading Jedi to be convinced this was a legitimate assassination attempt, the person hired for this portion of the job would have to be completely unaware that they were intended to fail. So it would have to be someone skilled enough to make a convincing assassination attempt and a near escape, but would inevitably make a mistake that got them caught. Sounds like our girl Zam. Word of advice? Never go to a cantina with Obi-Wan Kenobi. The guy has one drink, and he starts chopping off arms like he owns stock in a prosthetics manufacturer. With the unfortunate Zam in custody and understandably not having a great night, all it takes is a little angst from Anakin to convince her to rat out her employer. But before she can, Jango silences her with an expertly placed toxic dart and flies away. Good thing he was so well positioned ahead of time, but too bad the Jedi saw him fly away in his flashy, distinctive armor. All according to plan.
Everything is going as planned.
Zam being killed to keep her from talking, the toxic dart, and Jango himself were enough evidence of a conspiracy to prompt the Jedi to launch an investigation. An investigation led by Obi-Wan Kenobi, who starts with the one piece of physical evidence available: the toxic dart.
What you got here is a Camino saber dart.
It's no accident that Jango killed Zam in front of two Jedi with a weapon that could not only be traced, but traced to one specific location. And in a galaxy full of energy weapons, using physical ammunition is a deliberate choice. Now that Obi-Wan knows what planet he's looking for, it's a simple matter of looking in the Jedi archives for all the information he needs. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. A short conversation with a haughty librarian later.
If an item does not appear in our records, it does not exist.
And the curiosity of the Jedi is well and truly piqued. To ensure that the Jedi keep looking in the right places, Jango even takes steps to make it painfully obvious that he's the mysterious bounty hunter Obi-Wan is looking for. When Obi-Wan meets Jango in his apartment, Jango's distinctive armor that Obi-Wan Kenobi has already gotten a good look at, is lying on the floor just inside the door of a side room, in plain view of Obi-Wan. Jango then makes a show of trying to hide his armor, asking Boba to close the door, but moving himself to unobstruct Obi-Wan's line of sight before Boba has actually closed the door and hidden the armor. Armor that he last saw when Jango flew off after killing Zam. Jango was trusted to lead the Jedi to Camino, which is no small matter. The clone army needed to be discovered independently of Palpatine so he could avoid any suspicion of involvement. And with new emergency powers thanks to Representative Binks, Palpatine can play the part of reluctant but noble defender of justice and democracy.
I love democracy. I love the Republic.
And that's exactly what Palpatine does. It may have been his plan, but it was the actions of Jango Fett that made that plan possible. There's more we see in Attack of the Clones to suggest that Jango was a trusted agent in Palpatine's plot and not just some one-and-done lackey. Once he leaves for Geonosis, we see Jango functioning as Count Dooku's right-hand man. In this deleted scene, we see Jango flanking Count Dooku as he negotiates with a now-captive Senator Amidala. The position Jango is standing in is a position historically held by advisors, confidants, and bodyguards, i.e. a trusted associate. But that was a deleted scene, so it can't exactly be taken as canon. But how about this arena scene? Specifically, this arena scene, where Jango is shown literally standing at the right hand of Count Dooku. That's a pretty notable position for Jango to be given, which just goes to show how much he's trusted and respected. Which makes sense considering he's one of the few people in the galaxy who knows the true purpose of the clone army. Having spent so many years seeing them as good guys and beloved characters in media like the Clone Wars, it's easy to forget that the clone troopers were created specifically to eradicate the Jedi and wage a war that would facilitate the downfall of the Republic. Imagine a scenario where Palpatine takes power, but the Jedi are still active. How long do you think he would last as Emperor before the combined force of the Jedi took him down? Even without the support of the Republic, a unified Jedi Order would present an existential threat to Palpatine's imperial goals. And as such, a force that could eradicate them was essential to his overall success. There are a number of good reasons for Palpatine to use a clone army, but that's a topic for another video. So if a clone army is good, a clone army based on and trained by a capable Jedi killer would be better. Based on and trained by the type of killer who can skunk a Jedi Master with nothing but his sidearm. And that guy was a Jedi Master. I'm not pulling this from some obscure expanded universe source. He's shown as a sitting member of the Jedi Council in Attack of the Clones. I'm jumping ahead. How do we know that the clones were actually trained specifically to kill Jedi? For a long time it was only implied, but we finally got a clear answer in the Brain Invaders episode of the Clone Wars. For the more casual fans out there, this is gonna get a bit silly, but bear with me. In the Clone Wars Season 2, Episode 8, Ahsoka Tano and Barriss Offee are trapped on a ship with clone troopers who have been infected with Geonosian mind-controlling parasites. Told you. While sneaking around the ship, Barriss is ambushed and quickly incapacitated by the infected clones, one of whom remarks,
"If there's one thing we clones know, it's how to stop a Jedi."
They were ostensibly trained to fight for and defend the Republic alongside the Jedi, so why would taking down Jedi be the one thing that clones know how to do? Buckle up, we're going deeper. In the Clone Wars Season 6, Episodes 1 through 4, we're introduced to a sinister part of Palpatine's plan that will ensure the clones comply with the inevitable order to turn on the Jedi. Specifically, it's revealed that there is a sort of biological control chip in every clone trooper's mind that will compel them to execute Order 66, regardless of their personal feelings on the Jedi. Combine this with the statement from the mind-controlled clone, and it's reasonable to conclude that this latent kill code in the clones' minds contains not just a willingness to kill Jedi, but the tactics and training to do so. That would explain why the mind-controlled clones suddenly know how to take down Jedi. The training and the tactics were already there. The parasite just unlocked them for its own purposes. With that in mind, take a look at this scene between Obi-Wan and Jango Fett. No, not that one. Well, I guess we can watch it a bit longer. Okay, that was fun. But anyways, this is the clip I was talking about.
Do you like your army?
I look forward to seeing them in action.
They'll do their job well. I'll guarantee that.
Okay, we're gonna watch that again. But watch Jango's mouth this time.
Do you like your army?
I look forward to seeing them in action.
They'll do their job well. I'll guarantee that.
Did you catch that? To me, that looks like the start of a knowing smile. The suppressed smile of a man trying not to laugh at a joke that features Obi-Wan Kenobi as the punchline. The sly smile of a man saying, "I know something you don't." Maybe I'm reading way too much into this, but throughout the rest of this scene, Jango wears a poker face that would make Lady Gaga proud. So why the subtle hint of a smile? Maybe it was Jango trying to diffuse a tense situation and avoid getting into it with a Jedi. But that seems unlikely since, as we see later, Jango clearly has no qualms about getting into a tense situation with a Jedi. So why the subtle hint of a smile? Why this appearance that Jango is amused by the idea of telling a Jedi that the clones will do their job well? Because Jango knows what the clone army's real purpose is. Even if it wasn't actually a smile, or I'm reading way too much into it, the line is clearly foreshadowing what's to come for the Jedi at the hands of Jango's progeny. So Jango was a trusted agent in Palpatine's plans, and he was an integral part of creating an army of Jedi killers. But doesn't that just make him an important character in Attack of the Clones and not an important character in the entire Star Wars saga? With so much emphasis placed on Anakin's story in the prequels, it's easy to forget that they're just as much about the fall of the Republic, the rise of the Empire, and Palpatine's ascendance to Emperor. Episode 1 lays the groundwork for Palpatine's plans and puts all the pieces in place. Episode 2 sets the plan in motion by kicking off the Clone Wars. And Episode 3 sees the plan completed, with the Jedi snuffed out and Palpatine triumphant. This, of course, sets the stage for the original trilogy, and Luke Skywalker's trials to redeem his father, confront the Emperor, and return hope to a galaxy in darkness, which then paved the way for... It's fair to compare Jango Fett to Gavrilo Princip. the man responsible for assassinating Archduke Franz Ferdinand and setting in motion a chain of events that led to World War I, the aftermath of which created the social and economic conditions that the Nazi Party thrived in, eventually leading to World War II, the aftermath of which led to the Cold War, the aftermath of which his actions had far-reaching ramifications, is what I'm getting at. Jango Fett's role in the Star Wars saga may have been brief, but he was responsible for starting a chain of events that echoed across trilogies and generations, forever changing that beloved galaxy far, far away. Think I missed or misinterpreted something? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed that video, consider liking and subscribing. And if you want to see more content from Wherein, check out my links in the description below. That's all from me for now, so until next time, thanks for watching.